Right now, there are a lot of people looking for a revolutionary leader. They're looking for someone who can step up against the government and the bankers, organize, and provide a plan of action. One doesn't have to look very far to see evidence for this. The calls for leadership aren't always explicit. Sometimes it's just as simple as asking, what now? What do we do? But make no mistake, when you say things like this, you are in fact advertising that you're looking for someone to guide you. And for someone who's looking to take the reins, you're letting them know that the opportunity is there. This is a very dangerous situation, because what we have is a power vacuum, and a lack of clarity as to how that vacuum should be filled. It's dangerous because someone could easily arrive on the scenes right now, tell you what you want to hear, and lead you in a direction that could be far worse than our current situation. And yes, it most definitely could get worse. Those who can't see that don't know their history. If you want an idea of what I'm talking about, if you want an example of how bad things can get when the wrong person takes control of a revolution, do some research into the consequences of Robespierre's leadership during the French Revolution. Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't just the nobility being executed in droves during this period, but in fact, anyone and everyone who dared to disagree with him and his policies. Historically, the French Revolution is far more representative of what happens during political upheavals than what we saw during the American Revolution. Periods of instability and chaos favor the rise of dictators. Now, I could try to tell you that the desire for leadership is a psychological fault or a sign of weakness. That really wouldn't be fair. In itself, the desire for leadership is natural. It's a built-in aspect of our disposition as a species. Just like wolves and gorillas always end up with alpha males and alpha females, humans will probably always have a tendency to have a leader of the pack to some degree. The question is, what will be the nature of that leadership? And what will be its relationship to the people? Will you follow a man you've never met who raises his voice thousands of miles away? Will you let him dictate to you the choices that you should make and the course that your culture is going to take? That doesn't seem likely to be the path to freedom. The reality of the matter is this. We don't need one strongman, one charismatic leader to head the charge. We need every single one of you to take responsibility for where we are and start doing everything in your power to change course. This doesn't mean you need to attempt to control those around you or to gather followers. Leadership isn't about the number of followers you have. Leadership is simply the capacity to think independently and to take action without asking permission. A real leader doesn't wait for someone else. They do what needs to be done because they feel it's their duty. What we need right now aren't demagogues and sycophants, prophets and disciples. These are all manifestations of a paradigm of subservience and intellectual immaturity. What we need are reluctant leaders, individuals who have absolutely no desire to stand above others, and who are much more interested in building up those around them than they are in rising to great heights politically. If you don't see someone like this around you, the answer isn't to complain or to criticize those around you who are trying but fail to live up to your expectations. The answer is to be that leader, especially if you don't feel worthy, especially if it goes against every fiber of your being to do so. Those who desire power usually shouldn't have it. When I say that you should be that leader, it doesn't mean that you have to have a plan. This doesn't mean that you need to know how to organize people or be a charismatic public speaker. Leadership isn't a specific skill. It is strength of character. Rosa Parks was not a trained orator. She didn't have any experience managing political movements or media campaigns, and she didn't have to. Her act of courage was enough to inspire those who did have such skills to take the next step. This is an important concept to internalize. We cannot know the full effect of our actions, and our involvement should not be based on our chances of success. We accomplish much more when we're willing to look at ourselves like grains of sand, whose movements over time assist in smoothing the surface of a sharp stone. In that sense, we also need to realize that we may not live to see the final result. If every single one of us operates from that standpoint, then the question of who will lead will be irrelevant. If you agree with this message, please share it with other people. Post it on Facebook, post it on Twitter, post it on your website. Send it to your friends via email. And if you'd like more content like this, please subscribe to this channel, Storm Clouds Gathering, here on YouTube. We have a new video coming out every Monday and Wednesday, and we have a bonus video tomorrow. For bonus content and other updates, please follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/StormCloudsGathering, on Twitter at Collapse Updates, and of course our website, stormcloudsgathering.com.